I can't hear you.
I'm not talking yet.
Oh, you're not hearing it. Oh, all right. Hey.
I think this is the first time I've joined anyone's broadcast.
Hmm? Is this the
Hey,
first
hey.
time you're joining somebody else's broadcast?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's why I was like, okay, where do I click the link? And then I clicked onto the link and it kicked me out from watching your broadcast. And then, yeah, I'm here now, I guess. The
Yes, you
question I
are.
have is, will people that are following, wait, is this going into my Periscope?
That I don't know. Because
Because
I started the
I don't
broadcast.
know.
Oh,
Oh,
it
yeah.
is, right?
Your face
Mm.
is there.
Yeah. So I remember doing this
Hey,
with
Randy.
Chocolate Johnny. So
Ah,
I was in a Haps call with what Haps call? I mean, I was in a Haps broadcast with Chocolate Johnny. I think it was Reda's brother, Reda Moore's brother. Um,
hmm.
and then so there were six of us, and when Chocolate Johnny came on, his broadcast went to Periscope. And so my broadcast was also on
Right.
Periscope, and then he got off, but the broadcast was still on his Periscope, even though he wasn't on anymore. And then the same thing happened.
Right.
Yeah. So the same thing happened to me because when I left that broadcast, people were still talking, and they were like, I wasn't there anymore, and Chocolate Johnny wasn't there anymore, but both our streams were still going on
Wait, so
Periscope.
how do you stop the, I mean, how do you cut out broadcast then?
I'm not sure. I
Like,
really, I've never successfully done it. So I think
okay.
I'm not sure how that goes because
Hey,
have
Kevin.
like beta, right?
Yeah, it's weird. Like the interface is weird. I don't know who's watching from my side. I see Paula, Chris, Kevin because I'm using Periscope just to see the bubbles.
Mm.
Uh, yeah. But yeah. Hey, what you doing here? Aren't you supposed to teach your son some exotic language?
I've run out of material at this point, and I gotta educate myself so that I can go forward with him. It's just he's
Use
like a
Google,
little
man.
sponge, huh?
Is he talking
Yeah,
Arabic
yeah.
yet?
So the last language that we stopped at was Norwegian,
Okay. About
and
Hebrew? Is he learning Hebrew yet?
not yet, not yet. So, at some point, right, I have to ask myself this question. We're at 15 languages. He's 2 years old, and at some point, I'm going to say, okay, what's practical to do? Because I can't teach him to be fluent in 15 languages. That's just not possible because I'm not, right?
Well, how
So,
many languages are you fluent in?
so I'm fluent in five
Okay.
conversationally, but written maybe two only. I mean,
Right.
I can read in a few other languages, but I just like I wouldn't be able to write business letters in certain
Yeah,
languages.
you're taking up a big challenge, girl. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. So it isn't something that it was just we started off just kind of counting for fun, right? It's just to
mm,
kind of test and go through the phonics of it, so that the idea was just to expose him to different ways of using his speech and tongue, and so that when he wants to take any foreign languages seriously, it'll be easier because
right.
he's being taught how to use his yeah, but at this point it's like now we're going like from the 1 to 10. We were counting from 1 to 10 in like 15 languages, so now we're starting to learn how to say hello in a few languages, and how to say goodbye and thank you.
Hmm. For
Yeah.
people on my side who's watching this broadcast and wondering who this Asian lady is, you probably haven't been watching Periscope long enough because Yeah, this Jackie Mel Tiger Mom is a veteran periscoper, and she just invited me to the scope, and I'm just kind of messing around with Haps, trying to figure out how much more bug there is. Now you can keep listening to broadcast.
Yeah, I'm very new on Haps and basically just starting to build my community. I think on Periscope, because I haven't really been broadcasting for the past 2.5 years.
Right. So what does it mean? Are you back to the streaming world, or this is?
I'm
Like,
dabbling. It's just I come on when I can. Yeah, I think you know my challenge here, John. Just where I'm not in Asia, I can't get easy help, so it's just very full on during the week.
No, you just have to forget about the baby and do your own stuff. That's all you do. I do it all the time. I just dump my baby to someone to take care of, and then I'm off to work or off to drink with my friends and off to do streaming. You just have to you just have to let go.
Oh, it's not that I don't want to let go. It's like my son just wants to read 30 books a day.
Tell him to read it himself. Read it himself. Mommy's gonna do live streaming. We'll be back to you in a couple hours. Put a bowl of water and a bowl of congee in that little fence you have. And so if he's thirsty, he'll be like, you know.
Oh my!
He'll survive. That's how I do it with my kids. No, I don't.
Yeah,
but no,
but you have the advantage of in-laws and now that you must have I mean, so some poor must be momming full time, right?
I mean, we have help. We just hired a sitter for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the time when I'm at work, my in-laws are helping. But yeah, I get what you mean. It's a lot of work for mom, especially. You're done breastfeeding, right?
Yeah.
Did you breastfeed at all?
I did.
Right. But see, we have 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
You only have 1. So that's also slightly different.
Yes. And now Sam is a little older, so the sleep and everything is a bit more predictable.
Yeah. This is the thing about parenthood, though. I've been thinking about it, but I don't know if other people are interested in this topic.
Thank you.
It's very demanding. It's very demanding, right? So it sucks up your whole life. So whatever you've been doing before you have a baby, right? Whatever you're passionate about, whether you're cooking or me playing poker or just doing content or learning a new skill or anything like that, right? Because you have a baby now, that's all down the drain. That is the first priority. And so what that means is that there's this identity crisis. Who is John Ho?
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that you went through this.
Why? Who is John Ho if he's not streaming, if he can't play poker? And if
you froze there a little.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't say any foul word. Am I back?
Yeah. So what's interesting, John? I've been processing the loss of identity from a mom's perspective, and it's kind of illuminating to hear it from your perspective as a father, that you also went through this whole identity crisis. Who am I now? What am I? I was this and that, and now I'm not really as much anymore, and I'm more of this now, right? So what? Yeah, so it's interesting. So I wanted to ask you, okay, I'll share. For me, I just felt like I can't do this anymore. I can't teach people to cook online anymore. I just don't have time anymore. And so what that makes me is like, I'm not a live streamer anymore. How can I call myself a live streamer when I haven't been live streaming for the past 2.5 years? I can't, right?
Right.
And then I start thinking about like, okay, there are all these opportunities out there, all these platforms that are out there where it's like it's ripe for the picking. Like if I went on TikTok now and had like all the time in the world, man, like explosive growth. I see all these opportunities for stuff, but then I have no bandwidth for it, right? It's
Hmm.
just like I don't have time to do that. I can't. I sometimes there are days where I don't even have time to eat until like 4 in the afternoon. I don't. I only have time to eat one meal a day, or like maybe just like a little snack while I'm on the go. So then this whole idea that I can build anything whatsoever was just gone, especially without help in the pandemic, right? So so I there was definitely a loss of identity and personhood there, and I had to adjust to being like a mom, and then still now just kind of doing stuff, but then my core identity is still like mom for now. So I'm just curious to find out how you feel, because now you've started that process again by having a newborn, so you're doing it a second time around now. So I'm just wondering how that's working for you, and how you feel and how your identity has changed.
So last night I went out at 8 p.m.
Mm,
and I didn't go back. I didn't come back home until 2 in the morning.
okay.
Now, uh, the reason for that is because I have another Cantonese live stream show that I do on every Sunday,
Mm,
and it was actually a new show because I have two more people in the broadcast that's helping me with the setup and the format of it. So it was a little bit more complicated than what I would usually do. What I would usually do on a Sunday evening, if I go about doing the regular stream, is to just sit at home, get on the camera half an hour before, and then finish up at midnight, and then 11 o'clock, and I'm done, right? And
mm,
uh, so that was like a different night, but it's also with the current situation of having two kids. Uh, and if you tell people about it, people will be like, "Whoa! So you're just giving a load of parenthood responsibility to your wife or the other people?" And in my defense, I guess it's kind of like, well, I do participate in parenthood during daytimes, during weekdays, and when I get off work and all that. Hey, Peter, we're talking about parenthood. I don't know if this is a
hi,
public
Peter.
answer.
Yeah.
So I guess because I'm a father and I'm not a mom, I don't have to breastfeed. That's different. Because I'm also I need to bring income, or I need to like create stuff. I have this excuse of saying, oh, I need to be away from my kids because this is something potentially that can generate value down the road. So I guess
Mm-hmm.
it's easier for a guy to still go out and do my own stuff than a mom in any like parenthood situation here. So I don't think it's comparable because it would be unfair.
Mm,
Uh, but but as far as my wife goes, I force her to go out and hang with her friends.
mm,
I force her to work, so she would be having her own projects, or she would help me with my own project, and we
mm,
just delegate. We just delegate the caretaking job of the two babies to the in-laws. We hire someone. I know it's also like you said, like it's easier in Asia because like labor cost is cheaper,
yeah.
but it's also responsible. Like it's the reason why I say, oh, try to let go a little bit more, it's also expectation, right? As a parent, I feel a lot of people have the expectation of this is my baby, I should give them all I can,
Mm,
period.
mm.
the best I can, period. For me, it's like, these are my kids. I will give them enough so that they will have enough to grow up to be whatever they want to be in the future. But at the same time, me and my wife still needs to have, we still need to have a life in order to go insane, in avoidance to go insane.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think the balance, the most challenging thing is the balance. Like, how do you switch from not having kids to having kids, but it's just not being so involved with the kids that you feel so lost. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, I think it makes total sense. I think as
Hi, Casper. Hi, Yuka.
Hi Yuka. Hi everybody. If you just tuned in, we're talking about parenting and parenthood, the joys and the challenges. All at the
Joy?
same.
What joy? What joy is there is changing diapers, huh? And telling them to shut up and telling them to go to sleep. There's no joy in parenthood. It's a myth.
I'm just kidding. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun if they shut up, if they fall asleep, and if they just listen to what you tell them to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So I also think that, yeah, like in theory, I think that was exactly, that philosophy was something that I both my husband and I subscribe to, which is like, we want to have our own lives and have our son tag along, and for him to learn around, like, we want it to be our universe instead of like just the little guy's universe, right? So, but what ended up happening was we came to a situation where we didn't really have the option for help. And so my husband had to work full time. And so I had to take care of Sam full time. So when that happened, it was just kind of like, okay, I can do this. But what I really wanted to do was to maybe take care of my son 3 times a week. And then for twice a week, we'll have help. But that was not an option when we went into the pandemic, right? And then so it just became like full-time and like, very intense, because like, I think every kid is different. And for Sam, like, I have other mom friends with like other kids that are Sam's age, and they're happy doing things that Sam isn't, right? So they're happy at building blocks. They're happy doing like Montessori style games, happy to run around, climb around the Pickler Triangle, whatever. They're happy doing certain things. And Sam is just, he wants to read, and he wants to be read to. And that's his choice. He has chosen to work on his language skills. And this was not something that, like, I kind of like, I've given my son opportunities to work on all different kinds of things, right? Like just fine motor skill, gross motor skills, whatever. But he just books, going crazy with the books and wants to be read to. The moment he wakes up, he hands me a book. Right? At every opportunity he gets, he hands me a book. So, and then it's like this all day. Just books and books and books and books. So, and you can either try as hard as I may to tell him that, put that down, Mama will read that to you later, right? He'll say, okay, like 2 minutes later, he'll bring the same book. He'll do that until he gets read to. And it is very crazy making, John. Very, very crazy making, because I can delay and stall him a little, but ultimately his need is to be read to, because he's dying to talk. He's dying to form sentences that are longer than like 5 or 6 right now. He's just like, he's wanting to talk. He wakes up and he'll say, I know Russian, right? And I go, oh, really? Okay, what do you know? Okay, so and then he'll start counting. So he'll count in Russian, right? He'll go один, два, three. He'll just do this, четыре, right? The whole day. Then he'll read out, and I say, okay, cool. Okay, can you say hi in Russian? Привет. So he just wants to talk, you know. It's just so hard because I'm like, why don't you work on something else like Legos, Duplos, whatever, right? Like let's go play with the, we got him like this keyboard, like work on music because you can spend hours on music if you're really into it. But at this stage, all he wants to do is talk, and all he wants to do is be, like he wants to listen to me, read to me, he wants to talk,
Right.
and we're at this stage right now.
So, Jackie, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
What's your take on TV or screen time?
I try to give him about an hour, maximum an hour and a half a day. So I'm okay with him getting a little bit. He likes it. I don't want him looking at that thing all day. So I'm not comfortable like just making a couch potato out of him. Yeah.
This is like the TV thing is also very conflicting for me before and after having kids, because like we all understand the potential impact of too much screen time for the kids, or at least we were told that there are harmful effects of it, right?
Yes.
But they're just such, like, TV is just such an effective pacifying tool.
It is.
When it comes to like having the baby sit and don't bother you for as long as you want to, right? So it's such a big temptation, I realize. And it's the same in my case, right? Like, I would love to interact with my kid, and I work from home, I have the choice, luckily, to work from home. But if I want to do a call, if I want to do a scope, then I'm just so turn on Peppa Pig, right? Peppa Pig, and then he would just sit there and stare at the TV screen and do nothing for half an hour, for an hour, or I don't know. I don't want to test what is his limits, but for a long time. But I get it. Like in certain time, like some people would be happy to have their problem of wanting a kid to be studious and wanting to learn stuff. But yeah, I can't imagine dealing with a kid like that myself.
Yeah, it's
What would I do?
I'm not a tiger mom. This is the thing. I think people think that I'm there trying to force him to be something he's not, or like I'm trying to. It's not. It's him wanting it, right? Like you can't force a child to do these things if he naturally doesn't want to do it, right? So it's just not possible. Like
Paula's asking if there's any online program for advanced kids that will satisfy him, like some Zoom classes.
So it's a little tricky because he
2-year-olds, really.
He likes, sometimes I show him my YouTube videos of just learning. Like sometimes I put on like a language course thing, and then so he's but he's very picky though. He just wants very specific things. If he doesn't like it, he's saying no, and then it's very annoying because then I feel like I'm like the channel controller, channel changer, like every 2 minutes. So, but I know that there are programs out there. I haven't really looked very deeply into them because I think right now we've gone, and I need to break this, right? Because I think what we've done so far with Sam is that I've done it in such a way where I've curated a bunch of things for him. And he's used to that sort of curation, the pick and choose, the cherry picking, that I don't know if he's going to be able to go through a set program. I don't know if he has the focus or the interest. And I don't know how to break this right now. And this is my challenge. Like, how do I get him? Because usually when he says he wants to do something, I let him do it, or like I try not to let him do it, and then but then he'll ask for it the next day and the next day and the next day, right? So it's just basically he's very determined. He was very determined. He sat up at 6 months. He stood up at 7, and he walked at like pretty much like 10 and a half. So super determined kid, right? Like he wants what he wants, and then he'll do it for as long as he can until he gets it. Like the kind of stamina that he has is something that I find very difficult to manage, because if he can't get it now, he'll try and get it in 5 minutes. If he can't get it in 5 minutes, he'll try it in an hour. And
What does he do though? Does he throw a tantrum or
like
cries or?
get it in a week, he'll just get what he wants, like by trying and trying until he gets it, or until he forgets about it. So which yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what.
Give me a second. I'll be back.
All right, I'm gonna answer some questions here, and then we're gonna. I don't know how long John's gonna be able to stay for, but I certainly can't stay too long. So Paula asked. So I'm not sure. I have to look at it. I have to look at if there are any sort of like advanced programs. I've had people tell me about different programs that are out there. I need to do more research. But if you hear of anything, I'll be open to suggestions.
It's tough. Like I mean, every kid is different. Every
Yeah.
kid has its own issue. Some are easier, some are worse. You know, your situation is so different from mine because you have the pandemic. It's expensive to hire a helper and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Joy, I have a rule with my kids that if you ask and I have answered, that they get in trouble for asking for it again. There's another thing about complying to your kid's demand, right? So you don't want to I mean, in my opinion, right, I don't want to discourage my kid from them asking something that would benefit them, like developmental wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I also am aware that I don't want to say yes to every single request they do.
Yeah.
But then they're only like 2 years old, so they don't understand why we're saying no to them as well.
Yeah.
For them, it's just like, oh, okay, I'm not getting this. Why? They don't understand logic behind that, so they're going to be like, okay, well, I don't know if I should ask for it anymore. So let's say if it's candy, right?
Yeah.
For example, and I said no, then it's a no. But if it's a book, and I'm busy, I say no once. I don't want to say no again because that would discourage them from reading, and reading is supposed to be good. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So for some reason, like it works for other things. Like for example, like if he's asking for these melts, which are quite sweet, basically yogurt candy, I would tell him no, we've had some already, and I'll explain to him why, because it's not healthy to eat too much sweets and everything. And he gets it and he backs off, right? But with books, he doesn't get it, because sometimes my explanation is, Mama's tired, Mama's already read you like 12 books already. So, Mama's a little tired and we need to take a break. And he'll go, no. It's like, oh man. so it's
read himself?
Huh? No, he's not at that stage where he can read the whole book by himself, but he's finishing my sentences. So when that happens, like when he brings me a book, he wants me to read, but he's basically sounding out everything he knows in all the stuff, right? So I'd be like reading, say, okay, today, this thing happened, and then I'll go and then he'll go, Emma couldn't sleep, right? So that's him. So he's just like, he's wanting to finish all the sentences in the books right now. And
what happens if you just let him with the books?
he flips them. He doesn't read them verbally. He flips them and he just looks at them. Sometimes I hear him say certain things, like he'll point to certain things and he'll go like tiger, hippo. He'll go tiger, hippo, gorilla, blue elephant. He'll say that to himself, but he can't read yet, right? And I think he wants to. I think my challenge with him is that he's wanting to do things. He just wants to do things that he doesn't have the skills to do them yet, and he gets super frustrated, and he needs me to complete those things with him. And that's why, and so that's been my challenge, because it's very wearing, it's very repetitive.
Yeah, I don't have that problem.
You don't have that problem? What's your challenge?
What's my challenge?
Yeah. With your son.
Well, I mean, not right now. I mean, my kid is like, we're trying to speak with him in 3 languages, right? And that's the only thing I have some sort of expectation when he grows up. I mean, in terms of science or math or, you know, motor skills or whatever, that's up to him to develop if he wants to. But we just want him to be fluent in Thai, English, and Chinese. And it's more of an identity, like development than skills. At least that's how I would explain why I need to talk to him in Cantonese. But the environment has to be ideal if I need to teach him Cantonese, right? And so in my case, I guess it's whether there's enough exposure of the language in his daily routines. And then the whole family here are Thai. And so my mom is, his mom is responsible for English. So what that means is I'm the only person that can talk to him. So I don't know if that's going to be enough when it comes to listening, reading, and eventually writing the language.
What about bilingual? Are there any sort of like Chinese and English and Thai trilingual or bilingual schools in where you are in China?
English and Thai most of the time. They don't have much Chinese teachers here, and if they do, it would be Mandarin. And I prefer him starting in Cantonese because that's my mother tongue. So again, it's not because we need to learn China. Mandarin Chinese. It's just if he wants to learn it in the future, he will learn it himself. But
So I know that I'm not I wouldn't consider myself super fluent in Cantonese, but I think comprehension wise, I understand enough to not need the subtitles when I watch any Cantonese dramas or anything. And really, how I learned it was through watching a lot of shows. I know that he's too young right now, right? But really, how I learned it was because at home we spoke in Hakka, and we spoke in English. So just Cantonese exposure, yes. Just in growing up in Malaysia, there's always going to be that kind of in the background, environmentally speaking. But it wasn't complete immersion either, right? It wasn't like that was spoken 8 hours a day, every day. So really, it was just through TV shows that I learned how to speak Cantonese.
Yeah, that's the same with me when I was growing up learning English. I just watched shitload of TV shows. And so right now it's the same with him. There's YouTube channels of dubbed cartoons, and so sometimes I put him in front of the TV and
oh my god, I'm in here.
TV will be showing Cantonese. Hello.
Sorry. Hi. Michael just popped back in.
Hello.
Michael,
welcome.
Yeah. We're just talking about
I've wanted to meet him forever. No
Hi,
way.
Michael.
Good for you. Hello, sir. Your name's John, right?
Yes.
Yes, I finally have met you. I've watched your broadcast. I'm a bit of a fan, for sure. Big
No
time
way.
fan.
You like
I
Chinese
love.
food?
No, I like your content. You're clever, and I don't know. You seem to think outside the box. I like witty people, and unfortunately, in this world, I haven't met a great deal of them. So I feel like you're in that world. I'm having all
Thank
kinds
you.
of problems.
It's a compliment.
Well, here's the thing. I've been testing my Chromebook tonight, okay? And the functionality of it is pretty good. The problem is I tried to do a live stream. It won't let me. Then I tried to do a live stream with Randy and it wouldn't let us. So I don't know what's going on, but there's some kind of server problem or Randy and I are in an altered universe together. But
then you were able to.
So I went to go. Well, no, I went to go into mine and I ended up here.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
because-
And then
Because you're not disconnected with the stream yet.
Ah, that could be
yeah,
it.
and then so I tried to go into mine earlier and I ended up back in the one that Randy and I couldn't get going. So I'm in some parallel universe now, but I got to meet you. So I feel like it was all divinely orchestrated. I feel great.
You're welcome to stay and have a chat, but I'm guessing Randy also mentioned something about the host can uninvite someone, and once they have uninvited the person, then you get detached from the broadcast studio that you're kind of stuck with right now. I think that's the situation, at least.
Sorry, Randy's saying, where the hell am I now?
Where's Randy? Oh. Wait, so is Randy stuck here as well, or what's happening?
I don't know. Randy, do you want to come up? And I'll leave, and then I'll try to do a broadcast. I don't know.
I actually have to go soon because I've been on for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But John, I hope in the future you'll come in to my morning show. It's from 6:30 to 7:30. You notice I plugged the crap out of it today on yours. Yeah, so every Monday to Friday, I am 6:30 to 7:30. Before my normal job, I have a morning pick me up. Eastern time. I'm in Toronto.
6:30, 7:30. That's okay, because I'm in Thailand.
Look at this. Randy's going, this is crazy.
I think it's about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the evening here. Sure. I mean, yeah, I would be more than happy to jump in when I can.
Yeah.
I
will. You're always welcome.
Michael is a very, very fun person to talk to. Today he's figuring out a lot of like technical stuff. But when you have this attention, it's very, yeah.
Well, I usually run Ubuntu on it, and I don't get all the features. So I was running the Chromebook. I have a Chromebook it's like a mid. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. But the functionality of it, all the features in it are phenomenal. I'm like, hey, what's this? What's this? This is phenomenal. But I can't get in any room. So I'm wondering when you close this down, if it'll stop the link.
How about I do this? Okay, try and exit. I'll try and uninvite you. But then we won't be able to check with you because if you can't come in, then we won't be able to check with you.
Randy's
you can always read. You can always read.
And not changing anything.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna do that then. Okay. Try like.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, okay. I see Michael at the background still.
Okay. So I think I uninvited him. Okay. So I uninvited Michael.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see. We'll give him some time.
So there is a button for uninviting someone, right?
Yeah. I think when you have to click on the invite. Are you on the desktop on the computer?
Uh-oh. Wife is calling. Hold on. Hey. Yeah. Are you going on now? Okay, I'll send it now. Bye.
Okay.
Okay, are you going to shut down the broadcast, Jackie?
Yes, I think I'm gonna shut down the broadcast.
Great.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, I have to go about doing some chores, but I'll come back in. For people who's watching this on my side, I might do a stream myself, or perhaps, and maybe a bit after I'm done talking with them. So follow Jackie if you haven't, and Michael.
Everyone on my broadcast, please follow John. He's super, super fun.
Right, and then I'll see you other guys later, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackie, take care. Don't
Okay.
go too hard on yourself. You're doing great.
Okay. Thank you. You too. Bye.
Scope more if you can.
Yeah. We'll do. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Don't
Thank you
forget
for-
to uninvite me.
Oh, I have to uninvite you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta leave first, and then I'll invite you.
How do I leave? I don't even know how to leave.
Okay. So if you look down on your screen, there should be an exit button. Looks like a phone.
Oh, right. Huh. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Okay. All right, everybody. That was it. Thank you very much for joining us today. This was a super nice long chat. I don't get to do this very often, but it was kind of nice. So hope to do this again sometime soon. You guys take care. You can always DM me, follow me here, follow me on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. I'm at Dining Happy everywhere, or just look for me, Jackie Miao, MIAO. See you guys. Bye.